So today at BTB, I got the lobster and shrimp mac and cheese, which is one of the two of my usuals at that place, the other one being the seafood fra Diavolo. Inside this container they gave to Mom and me is the leftovers. I didn't feel like eating the entire thing at once when I was going to be working on a styrofoam drawing to pass the time between karaoke songs. My turns at karaoke. Tonight I sang 3 karaoke songs. In particular, I sang Coconut by Harry Nilsson. Then I sang Suddenly Seymour by Alan Menken, but it's more known as being a song from The Little Shop of Horrors. I believe it's a movie in which there's an extraterrestrial plant life that feeds off of human blood, or at least blood. I think that's the premise in general. Anyway, the Suddenly Seymour song is one of those songs that's a male-female duet. But, usually someone else does the Suddenly Seymour song. And Mom didn't want to do it with me because she said she doesn't know it. Which in that case means she hasn't practiced that song. So I did both the male and female parts. As well as the parts that both members of the duet are supposed to sing. For the male parts, I used my normal singing voice. And then for the female parts, I increased the pitch of my voice. The male parts, it was kind of like this. Suddenly Seymour. Then for the female parts, it was more like this. Suddenly Seymour. That sort of thing. I got a firecracker martini shortly before ordering the usual French onion soup. I consider that to be the healthiest soup that they have at times. I microwaved this for approximately 42 seconds. It ended up being pretty hot. I think for each slice of pizza you're supposed to add 30 seconds for optimal cook time. Or at least that's a thought. I think I ate most, if not all, of the shrimp at of this entree back when I was at BTB today. The third and last song I did was Mambo Number 5 by Lou Bega. Which is one of my staples. Because Mom liked it quite a bit when I did it initially. And I believe BTB. The Harry Nilsson Coconut song, I ended up singing because I was originally supposed to sing another You Put the Lime in the Coconut song. You put the lime in the coconut. By Baha Men. At one point when I called him in the afternoon, Dad gave me the idea to sing that song in particular after I got out of the shower, brushed my teeth, and applied a bit of Listerine. After I went swimming again today. I think I can do 5 laps around the pool before I decide to call it quits due to how sore my arms are, but yeah, maybe it's just a matter of pushing through it more. There were a few points in which I accidentally got the chlorine-laced water in my nose. There was one point of that, and then following that there were a couple close calls in which it splashed my mouth or hit my nose, but otherwise didn't go in. I guess there wasn't enough momentum for that. But yeah. Maybe it has something to do with the fact I'm nearly 300 pounds according to my weigh-in at the platelet donation, but when I swim laps around the pool, I apparently cause the water to become pretty wavy. Mom got in the pool today, though. Only to the extent of going on a zebra-patterned raft. Floaty raft. And as she floated on the water of the pool, as she got in the way a couple of times, and I had to push her out of the way, and then during later sessions she would push herself off to the other side by pushing herself off one of the walls of the pool. using either her hands most of the time, or at one point she had to use her feet. I'm currently researching mathematics in Stronghold Kingdoms. I'm hoping to complete the quest Healing the Sick 4. I'm at 32 disease removed out of 100. 20 hours and 50 minutes left, but all the disease infested parishes are pretty far away. So my monks have to go on some pretty far away trips. I mean, one group of 2 monks is going to take 3 hours. To reach their destination, and they're already in another county. Across that border over here. I'm currently researching mathematics because I've currently got 25 research points, not counting any recently purchased with gold. I've got approximately 615,000 gold. I'm planning on researching mathematics to its highest level. Each level reduces the amount of time it takes to research by about 50 minutes. I'm currently thinking long term so that in the future I'll be able to progress through the research tree more quickly. Improving my scouts, monks, monk blessings, and my military capabilities, both offensively and defensively, as well as increasing my production of fish within Pescado Village. I think I woke up around 1 in the morning. 1 in the afternoon today, excuse me. shortly before. Took me to BTB today. I did some work on the 99th Dan Hamming. I finished the styrofoam drawing that's intended to be the Uber driver's wife. Added a scene in which the Uber driver's immediate family travel through a hospital hallway with, so far, a pretty basic design. Though I don't have all of them added in at the moment. I also looked into briefly finding a job at Wegmans, but even the part-time jobs seem to all have qualifications that I don't meet for some reason. Plus, it wouldn't exactly be as secure for me as what I looked at later, which I looked into paralegal job listings, and I ended up finding a potential job listing that's a work from home. For a place that seems to provide legal counsel in regards to immigration, a sort of immigration law firm. So right off the bat, it makes me think that they provide legal counsel to immigrants. And under the supervision of lawyers, I would be preparing legal documents. I would just need to learn the formatting required for the legal documents I would be preparing. And I could do it with this laptop, though. Yeah, it would be doable. Excuse me, even though there's a few buttons on this keyboard that aren't responsive. Like this one, for example, the H key. And I think this one may be unresponsive too. The backspace key is also unresponsive, so... And it's been like that for a considerable amount of time. A minute and a half. Turned out to be pretty good for these leftovers. There were points in which I wondered about muffling audio, in order to muffle both a voice line by Dan Hamming, the Eric voice, and then by the Doctor with the Alan voice. That for some reason I can only access within Vyond Studio, not within my BlueStacks emulated narrator's voice app, which I did for the Eric voice. Oh, and Mom also put jelly beans in this in order to keep them from going stale, because a number of days ago a small tear appeared or formed within the bag all the jelly beans were initially in. I only eat a small amount of the jelly beans each night. And they're all flavors. That I sort of randomized myself. I believe, if I recall correctly, it was initially 4.5 pounds of jelly beans. These sparkling ice beverages are delicious, and they're pretty healthy. Within the first hours of today, I replaced the Traveling Merchant 1 building with this diving platform because the Traveling Merchant buildings produce so little of your unboosted goods that it's pretty much not worth it to have them take up precious space within your city. So I instead use that space to help me keep up with the culture that's demanded of me as I level up my city within Elvenar. I don't believe there were many other options I could have picked from. It looked just like this, and you're going to have a few of a certain building size at best. Yeah, it kind of looked like this. And I could only really look for all of the buildings that were this level because I'm currently on the Goblins and Orcs, or Orcs and Goblins chapter. There either weren't any other 2x3 buildings, or I didn't really consider them worth it otherwise. And that styrofoam drawing I worked on while I was at BTB, I believe I'm about maybe a third of the way done. I brought a whole bunch of markers with me, including my own microphone. Then the karaoke host for BTB and the knob. I mean, for BTB and the Willow gave to me. They have a different host for the karaoke at the knob. And the piece of styrofoam I brought in question was the other free piece of styrofoam I found within some kind of small cardboard box for, I think it was one of the bear collection things Mom has. Significantly prominently within the cupboard section that holds the printer. Yeah, you should be able to see where it is by a white rectangle appearing, but I don't see it right now. The white rectangle. It's usually, that cupboard is usually behind me, a bit to the right. The second drink I had at BTB was the other August drink special, which was the strawberry cucumber cocktail. I had water both before and during while I had that drink, but that water with ice in it wasn't officially ordered. Rather, I think Mom poured from a standby pitcher of water into a plastic cup and gave me that to drink. I think it's a pretty good idea to drink plain water with alcoholic beverages. I think it's a good way to prevent hangovers, and it seems to work pretty well for me. Hasn't happened to me yet, but then again, I think I have in a typical night, I'll have 4 standard drinks max over the course of several hours, so that helps too.